Okay, we're gonna stand and do the pledge.
I don't have a copy of the agenda.
But I have a picture of it. I just have a copy of it. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, I'm not exactly sure how the order of this meeting is going to go. Things are going to be a little bit different today as we're in a little bit of a situation. I am going to start by reading a couple of resignations. Give me just 1 second, I got to pull up the other one. Okay. The first one that I have, to whom it may concern, I am resigning as treasurer for the Village of Indianola effective immediately. I'm not sure how you want to proceed, but there are only 2 people who can sign checks at this point. I will not be able to issue any more checks. I will turn everything in once I am removed from all checking accounts. Sincerely, Tiffany McClellan. And the second resignation I'm going to read. Dear Village Board, I am resigning my position as Village President effective Sunday, August 11th, 2024 due to personal issues. Sincerely, Thomas Gooch III. Moving forward, looking into state statutes, although it looks like we have a very small board at the moment and don't look like we have a board, we do have people who are interested in filling positions. One of which will be filled today and sworn in today. We will also vote to appoint one of us sitting board members as interim mayor in the meantime until we can either fill the seat or until the election in April of 2025. So going from there, I think our next move is to go ahead and appoint our trustee and get her sworn in so that we can move forward and get somebody as acting mayor, get quorum so that we can move forward with this meeting. So,
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
How do you swear someone in if there's not an acting mayor?
I'll read you the state statute.
That's very confusing to me, like Robert's rules and stuff.
So, Illinois 65 ILCS 5/3.1-10-55 from Chapter 24, Paragraph 3.1-10-55, Section 3.1-10-55. Quorum to fill vacancies. If there is a vacancy in an elective office and for any reason there is not a quorum in office of the corporate authorities, appointments to fill vacancies may be made or confirmed by a majority of the corporate authorities holding office at the time the appointment is made or confirmed. So that states that whoever is remaining has the authority to appoint people onto the board. The statute also goes on to say that people who are qualified to swear in trustees and or officers for a corporate authority are qualified if they are a judge, if they are a police officer, or if they are a notary public. We actually have a notary here tonight who is going to swear in the trustee that we have discussed appointing into a position tonight.
Okay, can I ask one more question?
Yes.
Devil's advocate. Did you check with the lawyer
I did.
to make sure all that is all correct? You're
Yes.
interpreting it correctly?
Yes, the attorney actually is the one who sent me that state statute. I've had 2 conversations with him in the last 48 hours regarding the situation, just to make sure that we were not doing anything that could land us in hot water. So, yes. So I will make a motion to appoint Holly Austin into a trustee position.
Awesome.
All those in favor?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Is there 2 vacancies?
There are 3 vacancies total.
Trustee vacancies?
Trustee, yes.
Are both of them 2-year remaining or 4-year remaining?
So we have.
Because if there's difference in the remaining, you need to tell them which one.
Yes. We have 2 4 years that are vacant currently, and
Okay.
a 2-year vacant, I believe is what it is.
So both the trustees are 4-year?
Mm-hmm.
4-year, or the remainder of their 4-year term, or whatever?
Yes. So for example, Kim's seat was a 4-year seat. It's up for re-election in April of 25. So it's got less than a year remaining. But the other one isn't up for re-election until 26, I believe.
So you need to let everybody know which position
Yes.
she's being appointed to.
Yep. And then we need to also let the county know as well. Because we were made aware that a couple of our previous board members, the county had not been made aware that they were ever even board members. So we need to be sure that the county is contacted first thing tomorrow and informed of what position that Holly is sat in. So
what position are you appointing her to when it expires?
the 4-year seat, I believe, is that correct, Holly?
It expires, it's not the one that expires in March?
No, it would be the one that expires the following year.
Okay, that was what I was trying to get at.
Okay, yeah.
Is that the 4? That's the 4-year, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
6.
Okay. You good? Okay. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and.
I'm Suzanne Woodard. I'm the Notary Republic, and I want to hand this to you. It's the general provisions, Illinois state law, saying that I can issue an oath.
Okay.
And then I did not know if you had an oath ready, but I went ahead and got
That
that for
works.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, Holly, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Holly Austin,
Having been appointed to the office of village trustee
having been appointed to the office of village trustee
of the village of Indianola
of the village of Indianola
in the county of Vermilion
in the county of Vermilion
in the state of Illinois,
in the state of Illinois,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of village trustee
of the office of village trustee
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
And then I'll have you go ahead and sign there. And I'll have you sign my book, please. Okay, there you go. So you'll have to file that with the county and then keep a copy.
Okay.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
You too.
Ashley, do you want that in your desk?
Hey, I'd like to thank her for stepping up and
Thank you.
This may not
appreciate it.
be in the right order. You're welcome.
I think I did it a little wrong. This is our first time making an agenda, so just bear with us here.
The next thing that we need to do is we need to vote to appoint one of us as interim mayor. I would like to nominate Ashley to be in that position. Any objections? Ashley, do you have any objections?
So, I don't know the answer to this, so I'm gonna ask. If I was to do this tonight, just to get through this meeting tonight, do I have to stay with this until April, or can someone else end up being in this position?
I'm not an attorney, however, in my personal opinion, the interim mayor will be there until you appoint the mayor, until you appoint an active mayor.
Okay, so like we could do this and then I can appoint somebody later. Okay, so then that could be
Or
anybody.
somebody wants to be the mayor, yeah, and then appointed as the mayor, then you're being a trustee.
Okay.
So does anybody else want to do it? So wouldn't that save time if whoever wanted to do it just went ahead and did it?
I mean, if somebody here would like to,
It would have to be on the agenda, so it
Yeah,
has to be
so-
the next meeting anyway.
so she would have to do it at least for this meeting, and then it could be, if somebody's interested, let us know before the end of the meeting, and we can put it on the agenda for next month's meeting and do it then.
Can you go back to being a trustee?
She is never losing her position as trustee.
Okay.
Yeah, she keeps her powers as trustee while acting as interim mayor.
Okay,
She
that's
just-
what I wondered, because
yeah.
if she's only gonna do it for 1 month and lose your position, I'm like, oh.
No, she keeps her position as trustee. She just has the authority to run the meetings as the mayor would, just has no mayoral voting authority. She has her voting authority as trustee, and she remains in that position. Okay. Does anybody have any other questions about that?
Do you have to accept the resignations of Tom as
Oh,
a treasurer? Can you
Yes,
do
we
that
do.
if it wasn't on the agenda?
I don't believe a resignation has to be on the.
There's nothing we can do if a resignation
Yeah,
is
I mean-
notarized.
Yeah.
I just wondered.
So we don't, okay.
Okay. Ashley, do you have any objections? Or are you okay with moving forward? Okay. I'll make a motion to appoint Ashley as our interim mayor. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed?
I'm much faster typing than I am writing. Who's second, Joey?
Joey did.
Alright.
Okay. Moving forward, we will go ahead and begin our meeting. We will start with roll call. Ash, if you just want to.
Alright, and then roll call. Candace, St. Pierre.
Here.
Joey Quick. Holly Austin. Alright. I was using my phone, I think it's the same, but Alright, approved agenda from the previous meeting. I have no idea what I'm doing, so just bear with me as we go through this. Has everybody approved the agenda from the previous meeting?
Just ask for a motion, a second, and then discussion, and then vote.
I
I'll
need a motion to approve the agenda from the previous meeting.
I'll second.
No, I made, oh, never mind.
The minutes. Actually,
The minutes.
the minutes, not the agenda. From the previous meeting.
Approve the minutes. See, I need another form. Okay. So Candace,
Oh, we're gonna discuss prior to going ahead and voting just to give everybody time to look at it.
okay.
Does anybody have any questions about the minutes? Minutes and then agenda, approve the agenda, and then we'll move on.
I couldn't find a copy of the one before, like, how other things on there.
Everybody good on the minutes?
Yeah. Reading license broken, can't read.
Um, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
All right, now approve the agenda from the previous meeting,
From
right?
this meeting.
This meeting, geez.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll say.
Any discussion?
Just that my name's misspelled. It's Hollie.
We'll fix it.
It is very common.
All right, moving on to the treasurer's report. We don't have a treasurer, and I don't have anything.
Yeah, unfortunately, our treasurer resigned and will not hand anything over until her information is taken off of our bank account. So at this time, we're going to have to table that and call a special meeting sometime in the next couple of weeks after we can get her removed from there in order to deal with treasurer's report.
So is that going to affect our paying our bills?
I'm going to have to call Tiffany and see if they've already been paid for the month. But they should have been because we usually get the bill well before our monthly meeting, so.
We also need to check with that with Derek.
Mhm.
The mowing the grass thing was a bidded deal
Mhm.
and not a hourly deal. See what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah, we can talk about that in Park and Rec.
All right, executive session, and we don't have anything.
So we'll waive it at this time.
And then now moving on to building. I don't know if this is correct, but Joey and Candace.
Okay, regarding the building, obviously, work has started on the building. The roofing guys should be done in the next day or two. HVAC has started. They have torn out all of the previous HVAC system. They should be starting either the end of this week or beginning of next week to put all of the new stuff in. Jason, I spoke with him 2 days ago, I believe it was. I think it was Monday when I talked to him. And he will be starting on the inside on his portion next week. Bridgman should be starting in the next couple of weeks. Unfortunately, the projects that he's currently on got pushed back a little ways because of all the rain that we had and working with, mortar kind of can't do that in the rain. So those projects got pushed back a little bit, so we got pushed back with it because of the weather. So he does have all of the materials ordered. He's just waiting on finishing up the projects he's currently on.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
I thought there was supposed to be a bunch of tile work done around the outside of the building.
Yeah, that's Bridgman. He's the masonry guy.
Tile.
Oh, yes, that's Jason.
But wouldn't you fix that before you start fixing up the inside and keep the water out of the building?
That's Jason. He's going to be starting.
He's gonna start on the inside.
He's starting his part of the project. He's doing inside and the tile work and stuff, and it's all going to be done at the same time.
When did you say Resident's gonna start?
in the next few weeks, 2 to 3 weeks.
And I have one more question.
Mhm.
Did every one of these contractors have to show you their license and their insurance? Did they have to
Mhm.
provide proof of it?
We have copies. Yes.
I had someone ask me that.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
All right, and then public safety. I did talk to Cody, but I don't think he got back on the Tyler system yet.
Has he worked any?
I don't think he has. I haven't seen him.
I haven't either. I
Has
do
his
know.
payroll been approved, or?
I don't think it was. We didn't approve it because we didn't have the
We didn't have documentation.
documentation. Yeah. I know he's been tied up. He went back to day shift, but I'm not sure what he's into over there right now at the VA. So I don't know what his days on and days off are. I seen him the other day, and I talked to him for a few minutes at the VA, and he was still waiting on some updates for the Tyler system. At that time, he hadn't gotten a hold of the lady that he was talking to. And I don't.
He's supposed to give us 40 hours a month.
Yeah, I don't.
That's how much we have budgeted for him is 40 hours a month.
He was paid a payroll, is that accurate?
He was, and we were, at last month's meeting, we asked for documentation, proof of his work, his hours worked, or to have that money reimbursed back to us. At this point, I don't know if that message was passed along, as the person we asked to pass that message along is no longer with the board. So we will have to contact Cody ourselves and inform him of the decision that was made last month regarding that in order to move forward with
Is
that.
Cody the only person that you guys are requesting reimbursement from, or is there other people as well?
There's other people as well. We have a couple of outstanding issues. We did receive a timesheet for Luke for maintenance work for May to June for the total of 33 hours. So we're going to have to verify this, and as long as that's good, then he's good to keep his check that we had requested back for documentation. So we've got documentation now, we're just going to verify it, and then that should be completed. We have also requested reimbursement for, I don't at this time remember the exact total, but it was close to $600 for the rental of a skid steer that was not approved by the board. Now, that situation, we will be writing a letter and sending a certified letter to the person who owes that money, and we will be giving them 10 business days to have a reimbursement check to the village. And if that is not done as requested, then the county sheriff's office and the state's attorney will be contacted regarding theft, as that's what has been guided by the attorney, or suggested by the attorney.
You said state's attorney and police.
Pardon? State's attorney and the county police, yes.
All right. Moving on to Parks and Recreation. and that would be Candace and Ashley.
So regarding Parks and Recreation, the Good Old Days Festival is scheduled for later next month. Due to the circumstances and some other issues that have come to light, proceeding forward with an extravagant festival as we have the last couple of years, I don't feel is appropriate. I don't know about you guys. I think we could scale it back for this year in light of,
Fixing the building?
and no. In light of some of the things that are going on, I don't think that it's a good idea doing something as big as we have. I do still have the 2 food trucks booked and the foam pit booked. I have not proceeded forward with any more, again, in light of some financial questions that have been brought to our attention in recent months.
So you're not gonna do any of the bands or?
Probably not this year. It's going to be a lot smaller this year, I
What will you
think.
do with the money that places had?
We have not gotten any.
Hadn't gotten any money at all?
Mm-mm. Nope. We had put a halt once we, once some information was brought to light, we put a halt to planning any further with it as we were concerned about,
We just didn't want to spend.
Lack of help, for one thing.
Lack of
Lack
help.
of a board.
that is one issue, yeah.
Lack of help, and then we didn't want to spend any money right now. We feel it's a good idea not to spend any money if we don't have to, and just save it.
Just
it comes to the
because
festival,
out
just
of the
to keep it.
festival
You just
account.
spent $160,000 on a building. Now you wanna save money.
Well, due to some stuff that's happened, we decided just to
And
stop
the people in
spending.
the village is the ones gonna pay for this.
To clarify, the Good Old Days event is on a completely different checking account than the
Yes.
village. Is that accurate?
Yes, that's accurate. That's not our general fund. Pardon?
What stuff, money-wise, what stuff are you talking about?
Unfortunately, we can't disclose too much at the moment, as there is currently
So there's money missing out of your building? That's what you're making it sound like.
again, I unfortunately at this time can't disclose the issues that have been brought forward.
But we discussed them last month, didn't we, about the Amazon account or something?
It wasn't discussed any further than that. A question was asked.
So what if we continue forward, but we have like the 2 food trucks, maybe look into the band, I don't know, just keep it small but not cancel it. That way people can still enjoy it.
I do feel that we should still have something.
But people aren't gonna come in town for 2 food trucks and a foam pit. I mean, you know.
I know.
And maybe the cakewalk, bring it back.
Yeah. I mean, the cakewalk, I feel like is something that people around here really enjoy.
We just haven't had the time to look into vendors. We haven't had the time to do sponsors. With me working and everything, I haven't had time. She hasn't had time. It's just lack of help to be able to call. And I don't get a lunch break, so it's hard for me to step away for 30 minutes to call anybody.
And you want the mayor's position?
Just for tonight. Just for tonight.
So what do
I
you
do-
guys plan on having come for the Good Old Days for like kids to do, and I mean, is there gonna be anything for kids to do at all, or?
foam pit.
Just the phone bit.
We're gonna have to probably have a special meeting sometime in the next week or so. We're gonna have to do that anyway, and discuss what we can do for the kids so that there's something up here, because we don't want to completely take the festival away. The issue is just that with some things that are going on, we can't move forward the way that we planned to.
So you guys have access to the village Facebook?
At the moment, we have access to get on it and use it. We can't, we can post, but we can't make any changes to the Facebook or anything like that, as we haven't been given the full control of it, and with passwords and things like that.
Well, are you guys able to ask for volunteers from the community for the Good Old Days event, considering?
We absolutely would love that.
I think that's going to be a big portion, because right now I think that your primary focus needs to be on the position of your current board.
Yes.
You're without a mayor, you're without 2 additional trustees and a clerk.
Yep.
And I think that probably takes precedence
Yes.
over community than an event.
Yeah. At this point, our like you said, our priority needs to be getting this board back to where we need to be in order to move forward as a village. Our priority is not having a party. Again, I don't want to take it away from the community completely. I do agree that we should still have something, just maybe not in the capacity that we had originally planned.
Well, it appears that your
to add
guys'
on,
current position, if the board doesn't get it together and there's some uniformity coming on or reform going on, then there's not going to be any kind of good old days forever. So I think that you guys are right in your primary focus on being where you're at right now.
And I'll just add to your comment too about priority. So Illinois state law says that we have 60 days to fill a vacancy. 60 days. That's it. And we can be sued if it's not filled.
How long has the clerk position been open?
More than 60 days. So we do need community help. We need people to step up and fill these positions. The clerk absolutely has to be from Indianola. The treasurer can be filled from someone outside. But you have to be eligible to vote in Indianola in order to fill those seats. Same for the trustees. We also need to be compliant with the Open Meetings Act. No board member is trained on the Open Meetings Act, which is a violation of the Open Meeting Act law. You're supposed to be trained within the first 60 days of being appointed to your position.
Yep.
We have no FOIA officer. So Illinois has 2 sunshine laws, which is the Open Meetings Act and the Freedom of Information Act. We absolutely have to have a FOIA officer, and we have to have the whole entire board trained on the Open Meetings Act.
Yep.
So lots of things have been going on that we have to focus on because we're violating the law.
Yep.
That could be lawsuits for the village, and that means that we could be spending more money that we don't have to spend.
So
And I
that's
feel
our
like-
main priority and our focus right now.
I feel like that's important, just to kind of get this under wraps, figure out how to move forward in order to have a successful year. And then next year, if we can't do it this year, then next year I think that we'll have a bigger, better year. Next year we'll have more people on the board, hopefully. And I think if we have more people on the board next year, we can start planning a little sooner versus, everything that's been going on and the division and how we're trying to figure out things from the beginning of this year moving forward. It's just been really hard to get everybody together to have a conversation that doesn't go south and we can all stay on the same page and discuss things. And so now I think that with everybody in place and trying to get people in place, we might have a better outlook with us to try and do something next year. Because this year it's just been a really rough year trying to get things planned and get everybody on the same page and just be able to sit here and have a good meeting and get things moving. We've been able to accomplish a few things, but it's just been really hard on everybody and trying to plan special meetings to get things done. It's just been really difficult.
Joey, did you have something to say?
This is just my personal opinion. I think Indianola, as far as the board, I think we're at a crossroad. After some of the stuff there's a lot of stuff on this I did not know was, and And really, I couldn't really discuss it to you if I wanted to, because I really didn't know until. So here's my thing. We have a chance as a community and as a board to finally get things done right. I know we're not perfect. People are not perfect. But we have a chance moving forward to have a good board. I don't know Tom very long. Yeah, he might have been a good mayor, bad mayor, I don't know. I don't know him very long. Now, I'm not going to talk bad about nobody. That's not my style. But, we can get somebody that knows what they're doing. We get a treasurer that knows what they're doing, that can watch. One of the easiest things to lose money on, if you lose your pennies, that's what gets you. So we need somebody, who can watch every cent that's coming out of this. And we just...
So we're going back to that problem that you won't discuss.
Well, it's not, no, that stuff, I to be honest with you, I haven't had time to get caught up on it. But we as a community, and as trustee, it's either let it die, or we can start new and start getting that train rolling
And build
in
back
the
better.
right direction. See what I'm saying? But it's going to take more than this four board members. So to me, that's my interpretation of where we're at. Like I said, I don't know everything that's going on yet. I guess I'll find out eventually. But I think that's where we're at. We finally, I know people are talking about, the money we're putting on the building. I really hate to put all this effort into it and then for nothing. That's my 2 cents. And no, I don't want to be mayor.
I think it's a wise idea to just get our ducks in a row, so to speak, get everything figured out, sort through the madness, figure out what's what, take that time to delegate, looking through these papers on these tables, the papers that are over there, just taking time to dig and see where we're at as a board, what's going on, what have we missed, where things are, getting the keys to whatever we haven't got keys to, making sure that we're setting ourselves up. Because I don't want us to focus on the festival, and in that process, we have nobody that's going to help on the board, and then the board dissolves. And it's going to the township, and then that causes chaos for the township to try to figure out how they're going to do everything. So at this time, I think we're in agreement kind of when it comes to figuring out how to get us back on track. And then next year, we could come back stronger with the festival, because we're going to have more help, somebody with fresh ideas. Some of the citizens might want to jump in and say, hey, I've got this idea. Right now, I feel like it's just a really rough time to try to put it together when we just haven't had that time and we've not been united enough to make the right moves to be able to make it successful and make it something that everybody would enjoy. I don't want it to fail and people come here and be like, well, I don't want them to.
But what do you think? I'll ask Indiana this. What do you think the problem is? In the last year and a half, we've lost what? 6 trustees, a couple clerks, a couple treasurers, the mayor. Where do you see the problem?
When I joined the board and started asking questions, because I noticed inconsistencies and I started asking questions, and people didn't like that. If we're being honest, they didn't like me asking questions. I'll take responsibility for that, but I'll also take responsibility for the fact that I wanted this board to move forward and the truth to come out. I want a transparent government entity in this village that we can have an open dialogue with our village. I want them to know what we're doing. I want you guys to collaborate with us, to do good for this town, and that wasn't happening. So, if you want to know where the problem lies with me. Yes?
So how many positions do you need to get going?
2 trustee positions, a mayor, and a clerk. And we have we're gonna address it later on in the agenda. But we do have somebody here that's interested in our treasurer position. So, 2 trustees, a mayor, and a clerk, so 4 spots. And all of those positions have to be, and maintenance man, yeah. So all of those positions, excluding the maintenance position, have to be eligible to vote and live within the village limits. Maintenance man, we can hire
Candace,
anybody
for
for that.
clarification, you do still have a part-time maintenance man, is that accurate?
He's kind of, I'm not sure.
Is
if
there
we're
a
being
dog
honest.
paid for maintenance on your guys' table?
He is, yes. He has not officially quit, but he also hasn't done any work. So, we're kind of in a legal situation with that because yes, we can say he abandoned his position. However, it's not a full-time position where he has set hours to work. So it's not like he had 3 no-call, no-shows in a row that we can claim job abandonment
Has
at this
anybody
point.
on the board asked him to do anything?
Recently, we have not. So,
And the mowing position is
that was a
payroll
bid position. That was sometime last summer, I believe it was. We as a board had decided that that was not a maintenance job. So we had bid it out and hired Derek to mow. Addressing that situation because I've had multiple complaints about the park and these 2 properties in the last few weeks. We actually had a couple of citizens from town take it upon themselves, and we were really grateful for their help. They came up and mowed the park of their own, on their own time, of their own free will. They don't want their names mentioned. However, they did do that for us. When the question was asked why the properties had not been mowed, we had been told that it was because the guy, Derek, had seen in the paper that we were not paying our employees, so he said that he was not going to mow. I went and spoke with Derek. Derek informed me that that was not the case, that he had been contacted by a former member of this board and was told that we were not going to be paying him for mowing, so there was no point in him mowing. He was told not to mow, which was not the case, and was clarified with Derek. And he was informed that the issue we had with paying people was because we had not been provided documentation for the work that had been completed. And Derek was informed that if he does indeed mow, all he has to do is say, hey, in writing, I mowed on this day at this time, and he'll be paid for his work. And at that point, he did state that he would start mowing again.
So the we have a part-time maintenance position and a mower.
Yep.
Is the board gonna address the park looking the way that it does currently right now with him? Is that on the agenda to be having a discussion with him to get that cleaned up?
That is going to be a discussion with him on getting that cleaned up and see what his. We're going to ask him to get it cleaned up. If he chooses not to do so, he will no longer hold a part-time maintenance man position because we cannot move forward with somebody that doesn't want to do, which is completely fine. If he doesn't want to hold that position, that's entirely his choice. The maintenance. So cleaning up the park with the trash cans and stuff. The overflowing trash cans, that would fall under maintenance, not the mowing. He did say that he would move forward with the mowing. The maintenance position was not addressed at the time that I spoke with him.
You're talking the same person I'm getting with?
Yes.
Okay.
So the maintenance position is open, and he's gonna mow, right?
Yes,
Okay.
basically, yeah.
He's gonna do both or just the mowing?
He's just going to do the mowing. I don't know about the maintenance because I haven't addressed that situation with him yet.
So it sounds like we need to circle back to the job description.
Yep.
Yeah, we got a few thing on that job description.
Yeah. which had been discussed previously, but.
I ain't gonna lie, I was gonna go up there and weed it, but I found out my gas lines are messed up on my weed eater. So I'm trying to get them fixed this week, and I'll head up there with the weed eater.
Can I just make an observation though? If you all are already stretched thin because of your so few of these, and the park's a mess, whatever, and I'm not being critical, you all say the park is a mess.
It's a mess.
If you're stretched thin, I don't see how you're gonna have a celebration and have the manpower and the hours to even do it. In my personal opinion, I don't know that doing a halfway job of doing it is really good PR for the village of Indianola, and maybe just canceling it might be better PR to say that you just aren't going to be able to do it till the following year. I mean, you all have to make your own decision how thin you want to be stretched, but there's only so many hours of the day.
Yeah.
I just think if it's just a job of it.
I know, that's what I was thinking, because we brought the dumpster out here. I don't know how fast that's gonna be cleaned up, and I don't want somebody coming around, especially a child, and like,
You could use that for an
hit.
excuse because of the building improvements, we don't want to have people around the building.
Your food trucks, and how much cash are you going to be out, haven't been spoken for, you have to pay them a down payment.
For the food trucks? None, no. We don't, no.
But you could cancel
So
it
you're not
now.
out.
We're not out
If they had
anything.
enough notice, they probably wouldn't be on if you cancel. And
No.
if you wait till the last minute, they're not.
They're gonna be a little irritated, yeah.
Jump pit, whatever it is. or you're out.
Yeah, no, we're not out money on that either.
Cancel all that, not.
Yeah, we're not out money at all with the festival at this
So you're
point.
at a zero get loss if you
Yeah.
cancel it all.
You could maybe still do the Halloween thing, and get this stuff just cleaned up enough.
By then, yeah.
Or you
Which-
have enough help to do it.
We have something, kind of some ideas for Halloween, but it's not gonna be nothing major. We just wanted to try to incorporate something different for the kids this year, but we'll talk about that at the next meeting. Yeah.
I mean, I will say it's y'all's decision, I just don't do a
Big-
crappy job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No
That's my
job is
fear.
better than a crappy job.
Yeah.
That was my thing the whole time. I don't wanna do something and it be terrible
Half-baked.
versus just not doing it and then waiting and coming back stronger next year.
2 years from now, you're at 175 years. Now,
Can't remember.
and something big,
Yeah, not something big for that.
and something big 42 years from now. 175 years. It's not a bad idea.
Well, if we can't get a full board and mayor and all this stuff working out, it ain't gonna be no 175 years.
Well, yeah.
So that's why, that's what I was saying earlier, we are at a crossroads.
2 years from now and do 175
There's-
years celebration.
According to our little sign out there, there's what, 250 people in Indianola?
Yeah, that's. might be
I'm
bad.
pretty sure, I know, I'm just saying that they're probably counting the graveyards too, but. You know,
Doesn't reflect
there's,
the way
I'm
it's
pretty
sitting.
sure there's more people in Indianola than just what we got sitting here.
175th was in 2011.
I thought we were at a 76.
1836 is when I was founded. Same year as the Alamo.
Now
We are old. We're the
I
third
know,
oldest
it's
town.
like a walking cycle.
You said
I know,
1836.
So,
That's the country.
what's the word for 175 years? I just Googled it.
What is all powerful?
Yes.
That's a mouthful.
So if you advertise it as that.
You're gonna have enough people wondering to show up.
And if you can pronounce it correctly, maybe you'll win a prize.
1986 was our sesquicentennial.
Yeah, 1986 was our sesquicentennial.
12 more years we could have our 200.
But I thought in 2026, I thought we had some, what would that be? What would that be? I don't know. Come on. You're a math teacher. Come on.
28 like.
1926, 1926.
Well, between the two teachers here.
390 years.
109 years? What's that? That's gotta be something special.
I think they do about 25.
Oh.
Moving forward.
We're the oldest town around, because all these other towns are just now having.
So do we
a
want-
census.
we'll have to-
The older
I-
are Danville and Georgetown.
Because
I
I have
think-
on here, vote on
Danville's the oldest,
canceling good
Georgetown's
old
second,
days,
we're third.
celebration due to
What's their
issues.
oldest?
Did we
The
put vote?
county?
Yeah, I put on vote one,
See, she
canceling.
knows stuff.
Well,
All of
Here,
these
table.
towns
Okay.
have their census.
want to table it for a special meeting?
That's fine.
Okay.
So
We're gonna table the Good Old Days, festival discussion.
Supposed to be next month, you better do something besides table it.
I mean, at this point,
You were supposed to vote on it tonight?
it's on the agenda to vote on it. I mean, we can table it, but that's all we can do is table it or vote, so.
You can.
How do we want to move forward with it?
You can announce a future meeting without having to post an agenda for the sole purpose of voting on that item. As long as you announce a date, time, and location at this meeting, you don't even have to post the new meeting or a new agenda, but you have to go with what's on that agenda. So if you think you're gonna have a decision in a week or 10 days, all you have to do is say, hey, we're gonna meet back here on August, whatever it is, 24th, at 6 p.m. and vote on whatever, because it's on the same agenda.
If there's other items on that special meeting agenda, they'll still have to post an agenda for those additional items.
If they add items, then yes.
Yeah.
Then it would be, then you would probably just add approving the ceremony, whatever, celebration onto the new special meeting agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we have to have a special meeting anyways, because we're gonna have to appoint an acting mayor.
Yeah, and the treasurer.
Yeah.
So, do you guys want to do a meeting? We could do it over the weekend or weeknight. What do you guys want to do?
Well, you're still gonna have to post an agenda actually.
Yeah, we don't have to decide tonight, because we're gonna have to do a special meeting and post an agenda.
Yeah. So we'll discuss and
'Cause maybe some people will come forward and wanna fill some of the vacancies.
in the meantime, yeah.
You got 6 people right here.
I wish I could, but I can't.
7, 8, 9.
Why are you
So we will,
Why are you hesitant about canceling it? I mean, y'all sound like we're gonna be too busy and not enough help.
yeah. I mean,
You know what?
We just got ripped apart for one to cancel.
I know,
and now
I know,
we're
it's
asking them to
Well,
cancel.
I'm kind of on the fence on either way, because all the negative crap that's been going on here.
Yeah.
We need something good too, and not just a strong drink. I don't know if I'm not allowed to say that, but you know what I'm saying? We need something just a little.
Fun.
uplifting for the community.
But are you
Well,
gonna
wait a
have a
minute. The
turnout
fire
for 2
department
food
is
trucks?
having
The fire
a fire
taco
dinner.
dinner.
Taco
the
dinner.
same day as the cemetery's having 150 years, right?
Yeah.
Remember right?
September
And
7th.
that's
So-
just in a couple weeks.
That's just, so you're having
Something.
here, right?
We just have to work a little extra harder.
Bring in some bounce houses for when the fire department's having their dinner.
Well, the board members that are on that do that part, they're going to be at the fire station anyways.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
We can always take the phone pit to the. fair thing.
I was gonna say, we can, actually, we'll talk to Cory about that.
Well,
So is that going on the next special meeting?
How do you guys wanna proceed with this? Do we wanna table it? Do we wanna
I think
vote to
so.
cancel
We need
it?
to
Do
find
we
out
want
if-
to?
If the home pit's been paid for too.
The what?
The phone pit, we need to find out if it's been paid for already.
Wouldn't you
I mean,
have
we're not the
past
ones that paid
bills?
for it, but we aren't the ones that paid for the phone pit. That was donation from the firefighter fund.
So if you call them soon enough, can they get part of their money back, maybe? They paid for it already?
I mean, I don't see.
Oh, that I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah, that I have no idea.
so how much
So I
does it
think-
cost for one of them?
I think it was $300 for 3 hours. I think.
When was construction supposed to be completed on this building?
The original plan was to have construction completed on this building by the end of September, but then with all the weather and all the contractors getting
Because
pushed
it
back.
might be also a good idea to check with the contractors and see what the timeline is with the rain and everything, because it is a safety concern, having a dumpster and you'd have to rope it off and then still wrangle kids.
Yeah.
I think we should just cancel it this year, in my opinion.
That's what I agree. This is fire station.
I mean, we'll still have something for the community. It'll just be the fire station and not both this year.
Yeah.
And then next year we can come back together and start planning.
You could celebrate your new building renovation as
Yeah.
part of that.
Yeah.
There you go, yeah.
And, you know, like next year we'll have this all done. We'll have air conditioning, so if we have vendors and stuff that want to do it in the
Inside.
building, then it'll be different versus,
Yeah.
because we had the issue with somebody wanting to do it in the building in here and not enough space. I mean, it's up to you guys. What do you guys think?
I mean, I mean, with the safety concerns, with other concerns, I don't think we should move forward with it, unfortunately.
And I like the idea of the 175 years, concentrate on that. I think we can make that something really special. With the time.
And we already
It's
have.
already passed.
That's past that.
2011.
The next one would be 190 years, but that's not,
Yeah.
nothing
2026.
special. We can make it special.
Yeah, sure.
That's only
In time, yeah.
But then two years.
70% chance of rain for
In
tomorrow.
2 more years, it'll be 190 years.
Okay, that's what I'm.
Not good. The roof was supposed to be finished tomorrow.
Alright, so do we want to take a vote on canceling?
I don't think it was so much people trying to rip you guys apart for wanting to cancel it. It was the not wanting to cancel it and just do two food trucks and a phone pit. You know what I mean? I think that people felt, what's the point of having it? Not, you know,
Yeah.
I'd rather see it canceled than half-assed, to be honest.
Me too.
Because then the next year, people are gonna think, well, all they're gonna have is.
I mean, and not want to come back next year. Yeah.
I think it gives us more time to plan and come back.
And people understand, they know the board's gonna pay us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
They're not gonna.
we might be able to get
gripe about it.
more events, or, you know, we could start earlier, so maybe we can get some different food trucks than what we had options for this year.
Well, and you guys will have the budget still next year for what you guys don't spend this year on the budget for the festival will go towards next year.
And I think that they had a lot of initiatives that you guys were planning on doing, sending out the letters and things like that. Did those ever get done, or has that just been a time restraint?
We've got to update those letters now.
Yeah.
And take off the names from the
So they
previous.
could actually have more money for something even bigger.
Oh, you're still
There's a
gonna
lot
send
of
out the.
things.
Yeah.
Okay, because that hasn't been mentioned for a while.
Yeah,
We had put a halt on that because the letters had to be amended because it lists all the board members' names, the president, the treasurer. And so with those people no longer being affiliated with board, we can't send those out. They're not valid.
So I think once this next special meeting that we have, if we can get the seats filled at the next one, then we can go ahead and add those to the letters and get those letters sent out ASAP so we can start funneling those out to other places
Yeah,
to
you
see
guys
if we
will
can
have
get
more
some.
time to.
Yeah.
Well, that being the case, I'm gonna make a motion to go ahead and cancel the festival for this year and resume next year, when we have a better handle on things.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
I ain't gonna lie, I'm in the middle with it. Take that for what you want.
He's a party guy, he got parties all the time, good.
No, it's just, I don't like to lose,
I know.
and, it seems like by not having it, people are winning, and I don't like that.
Yeah. Well, you gotta do what we gotta do.
But,
Well, if they're not board members anymore, it shouldn't matter if you guys want them, they don't.
no, but I think some of the stuff was in spite. That's what I'm taking it.
Well, I think you can amend that shouldn't be discussed right now.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, moving on to new business. So on the agenda is, we may not be able to do this tonight, vote on changing banks. And I don't know if we want to proceed on this, with this meeting, and just table it until the next meeting. What are you, voting on changing banks?
I do agree that we need to change banks, immediately.
Well, can't really do that until we get somebody that's doing it.
So
We do need to probably table.
we need to table that.
If you change
You know what?
banks immediately and you already owe people money, then you're not gonna have any checks to write,
That's true.
pay people.
We can't change at the moment anyway. I meant immediately in, as soon as we are able.
Oh, gosh, I thought you meant right now.
No.
I don't see how you could
I
do that.
apologize, that was my fault. As soon as we're able,
So,
we need to change.
so we're on new business.
Yeah.
So the people that are no longer on here, that, do we know that they had keys?
That
They
was the
turn
next
them
thing.
in?
That's,
So
yes.
the next thing is obtaining passwords and keys from previous board members and other personnel.
We do have Tom's set of keys, and this set of keys was up here. I don't know if it's Kim's or if it's Luke's or if it was both of theirs. I don't know. We weren't told. They were just left up here.
Is there not a law who issues keys to, you know what I mean, like, who issues keys to who, like, who would have the keys? Like, I was issued this key for this, like, it should be logged somewhere, should it not?
It should
That's
be,
good practice, best practice, yes.
but it's
we
not.
don't know if it is or what.
The keys don't have do not use listed on them.
You can get around that though, that doesn't matter since they have machines where you can go yourself and get a key made.
I do believe that a discussion needs to be had on changing locks on the buildings, the concession stand, and our post office box. And I think that we need to look into, not key locks, but passcode locks, where, if there is, you know, for example, you have your own code, I have my own code, you have your own code, like we do at the fire station. That way they can be programmed in, and if somebody leaves the board, their code can be removed from the door and can no longer be used on that door. Those locks are not very expensive. I think that is something that we need to look into.
What's not expensive? I mean, you know, what's not expensive? I'm just asking how much they are.
Right.
Oh, I know you can get them for decently cheap, around like $30 to $50.
How many do you guys have?
There would be 3 in total. So there'd be one for the garage door, one for the main door, and then one for the concession stand. Those are the 3 doors that have locks. And then we would have to provide documentation for the post office of who's currently on the board and who's no longer on the board. There was something else that needed to be, I'd have to clarify again, that needs to be provided to the post office for them to be able to change the lock on our box.
Did he turn in
The fee, yeah.
the credit card for the,
Yes,
is that been turned in?
that has not been turned in. Last I knew, we had been told that Tom had the debit card. That's what Tiffany told me, was that Tom was the one that had it. Tom has not turned that over. I think a phone call.
Have you stopped it? He's not there.
There's
Yeah,
only 3
we're
people on
after-
the bank account,
Yeah,
the mayor, the treasurer, and the previous clerk. We don't know if the previous clerk's been removed or not.
yeah. So we don't know if we're able to call over there and deactivate that card to where it can't be used because none of us are on that account.
You mean the previous clerk after Marty?
Mm-hmm.
Well, at your special meeting, if you pass a resolution authorizing
Yeah.
person A, B, and C to be the signatories on the bank account, they can take that resolution up and the bank has to change.
Go to the bank and have them give you a copy of the bank resolution, then without taking over the copy of the minutes, that they can. You can't just call, but you have to take a copy of the minutes and the bank resolution.
Well, from the sounds of it, you guys have concerns, that's probably a priority item.
Yes, it is. As, my name is already under question.
Okay, that was it.
I have a
Got
couple of
streets
things.
and alleys.
Mhm. The streets and alleys on there.
Oh, that was the very first one. It was so small.
Barricade?
Pardon?
Do we know anything on the barricade?
Yes, so, well, we,
I'm confused on that because a year ago, I thought the money had been approved. Then I ran into Kevin Dodd when he put that all up there, and I said, so when are you gonna fix it? And he goes, we have to wait on the money. And I'm like, I thought the money was already there. So I'm confused.
okay, so, at our last board meeting, we approved our motor fuel tax. And,
But I thought it was already approved for that. That's what Tom told me a year ago.
oh, yeah, it had previously been approved.
Is that expired? Is there an expiration?
That, I don't know what happened with that project,
I thought
because
it got
that was
used on
prior
something
to me being on the board.
else. I thought it got used for something else.
It may have been, that, because I know that was prior to me being on the board, so.
Was this not when Tom said that they had to do it, but Todd couldn't do it? He had other work?
Yeah.
Maybe it was.
Dodd to show up, and Dodd never showed up. And I saw Kevin, and I asked him, I said, okay, so you got the money, and you got out there, and he goes, dude, they don't have the money. So I can't do it.
So, yeah, so, okay. It was originally approved, a couple years ago. Like I said, that happened before I was on the board. I don't know what happened to that project being completed then. Are you talking, you're talking about the one on North High Street, correct? By the dairy farm?
Tayette
Okay, yes.
By the dairy.
Yes. Okay. So that had been a discussion for the last few months here. It had been brought to our attention because we weren't aware, the board was not aware, the current board was not aware of that situation down there, as serious as it was. We had a citizen come to a board meeting a few months ago, bring it to our attention. We put it on our motor fuel tax. At last month's board meeting, we approved our motor fuel tax, and we approved our motor fuel tax for $65,000, I believe it was.
So now can Kevin come and do it?
Hang on. IDOT came back to us after we turned in our approved motor fuel tax budget and said, we're not approving that much, we're only approving you for, what was the amended amount?
40.
Was it 43?
It's in the 40s, I think.
It
I
was,
thought. I might, That's what I'm saying.
45,000 is what they approved us for. And so we had to circle back. We had a special meeting and approved the amended motor fuel tax with the 45,000. So yes, that project is going to get completed. It's going to be done in 2 phases. The first phase that's going to be done this year is going to be the replacement of the tile under the road itself. And then next year will be the tile that's coming down the ditch to connect into that tile. He's putting a 6-inch, I believe he said, tile underneath the road this year. So that road, what we're waiting on right now is we had to send the amended approval back to IDOT. We are waiting on them to send it to Fair Graham, our engineer, and then we have to get in contact with Fair Graham to make sure that it got back to them so that we can move forward with paying Kevin to complete that job. So we are making progress on it. Right now we're waiting on IDOT. Does that answer your question?
It's not like they did a whole pond over here. Happens right there every month.
And what about the flooding by years of Kansas Power?
IDOT is working on a contract that they are going to present to the 2 farmers that have that field. Last I spoke with IDOT, they're coming up with a contract to present to those 2 farmers that basically states that they're going to dig up the field, remove the 6-inch broken tile out of the field, put a 12-inch tile in the field, and IDOT will be responsible for repairing the field so that they can get the approval from the farmers to dig up their field. They are planning on doing all of that work in the fall, after harvest, so that the farmers are more likely to agree to let them dig up their field.
This year or next year?
This year.
It's been that a long time.
And it took people going to the news to get IDOT to
Oh, yeah.
do something about it.
I know last time it was bad. I went through there. Wow.
Yeah. The last time it was flooded, the fire department, we went down there and we pumped all the water out of the road. So.
But they did clean it right when it's draining.
IDOT did, yes. Fire department pumped all the water out. It rained again that night. IDOT came down the following day, pumped all the water back out, and then cleaned out the basins that are under the road. It still floods, but it's draining a lot quicker now because those basins have been cleared out. But again, it won't last long because all of that crap is just washing down in those basins. So IDOT said that they will be dealing with it this fall to completely have it repaired.
That was another thing about that. The road up by Gary about timing with the farmers.
Yeah, they should not do that during harvest.
No, it would be.
No, because I think Kevin said that once he starts on that project, he'll have that road blocked off for at least 2 days.
Right, and I wouldn't do it during harvest.
No, that's a bad time to do that.
And you're gonna have to let the school district know too.
Moving forward and new business. So there was a question from a citizen a month or 2 ago about scrap metal that had been removed from the dumpsters during the village cleanup. When I spoke with the attorney earlier today, I spoke with him about that scrap metal situation, and what he told me was if it was a situation where it was open to the public, that anybody could have done that, that whoever took the scrap metal, there was nothing we can do about it. However, when the attorney was made aware that people had tried to come up citizens had tried to come up and get in those dumpsters, and they were told by board members that they could not do that. At that point, the attorney then said that whoever took the scrap metal needs to return it to the village, or they need to hand over the money that they received from that scrap metal, and if they don't, the state's attorney needs to be contacted.
That's just hearsay, right? So, I mean, about the, you said a couple of them said they come up here and ask for the metal. You got to put them in court too to testify against the person that has all this scrap metal.
So then they bring the metal back, so say they return the metal and bring it back up here so that it's fair.
They
and
cannot,
everybody
what
can
I'm getting
have
at is they cannot financially gain from it. They can take it to the dump and dump it. That's fine. But they cannot financially gain from that metal. So if they got any money from that metal, they need to hand that money over to the village, or it's theft. Yep.
And so then next year, nobody will be allowed to get the metal either?
No.
Then it'll go to the dump?
Yes.
Now, you see, I asked the cop I know, and I'm about that situation.
Mhm.
If somebody places something at a dumpster,
Mhm.
it's surrendered property, and
Yes.
anybody can go
Yes.
pick it up.
Which is what the attorney said. However, because the board had stated and chased away people, like citizens, from getting into the dumpsters for that reason, because there was a stipulation put in place, then they were not allowed to do it either. Now, had we left it open to the public and let the public do that, it wouldn't have been a big deal. However, they told people no, that they could not do that, and they chased people away from doing it,
So,
for them to in turn financially gain from it.
okay, so sometimes you have to pick and choose your battles. Was there enough scrap metal there to?
I don't know how much there was.
To warrant this?
I don't know how much there was, if we're being honest.
So the discussion was brought up that other municipalities collect this scrap metal when board members or
To help
village
reimburse the fund of
employees are
the-
working to reimburse or recoup some of the costs or
Of
put
the
it towards
dumpsters.
of the dumpsters
Yeah.
for the cleanup.
Mhm. Yeah.
Is
And
that what you guys are looking to do on the upcoming town cleanups, or?
If you are,
That's
in the
what Paramount
future,
does.
have a dumpster that's
Dedicated
designated
to
scrap
For
metal
metal, yeah.
only.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wouldn't some of that, in the township pay for part of that?
Mhm.
It is.
So some of that
Yes.
scrap metal would be-
So they're also losing out as well from somebody else gaining from that situation. Again, picking your battles, I get what you're saying, Becky.
I just know sometimes you think you got all this scrap metal and you really don't
Yeah.
get that much money from it.
No.
So,
So if he returns it all, where are you gonna put it?
Like I said, he can take it to the dump if he wants.
You know what?
I don't care where it goes, but he
Yeah,
can't
but-
financially gain from it. Unfortunately, that's a crime.
Yeah.
Then I would bring it all back.
Was that discussed at a meeting that he wasn't allowed to do that?
It was not discussed at all. It was discussed after the fact when a concerned citizen brought it to a meeting and said, hey, we noticed that there was a pile of metal at the building that's no longer at the building. It's at so-and-so's house. And we're like, okay, well, that was never discussed. What is happening there?
What weekend is that?
I hate to play devil's advocate. It seems like moving forward,
Mm-hmm. There needs to be clear
we almost need to have an ordinance on
lines.
what bathrooms. I mean, it's common sense is this not there.
Well, and there needs
You know,
to be
we need to have, if we gotta have an
There-
ordinance
yes.
where if the metal comes up here, it belongs to the town, and then you take the metal and reimburse yourself.
Maybe it's in a new point right now and you guys are
Yeah.
looking to move forward, so that's probably what you should do.
Yeah, it's kind of petty to me.
Well,
and
what
just
were you
address
getting
it in
ready
the
to
future
say,
discussion.
Cletus, before you got interrupted?
Wouldn't it have been a liability to the town to let just anybody get in dumpsters that you have rented?
Yes.
So I don't think it was anything bad being told you can't get in the dumpsters.
Well, no, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they were chased off and told that they could not remove anything from the dumpsters. They couldn't take anything that was in the dumpsters. Exactly.
But it's
Again,
also
yes.
it's also a legal situation when a board member or
Acts in
a
an
mayor
official
or a
capacity.
public entity is gaining financially from any of the
Yes.
events that are put on within the community.
Yes.
Yeah, it sounds like the whole, this is my dog, you can't have it, I want this dog.
I think personally, I agree with Joe. You learn from your mistake and just set up something next year. Scrap metal goes in this dumpster or these two dumpsters.
Move forward.
It's like setting up an ordinance. You can't accuse somebody of doing something unless there's an ordinance against it.
Or unless there's a law against it.
Unfortunately, that's the world we live in now.
I know.
Yeah, let's just move forward.
And matter of fact, I told Luke that there was metal at my house if he wanted it.
Yeah, me too. Yep, she did too.
Was Luke on the payroll or was he at the time? Luke was getting paid from the village at that time.
Yep. Yeah. He was still our maintenance man and working in the capacity of maintenance man at the time.
So he got paid for all the hours of picking up all the stuff?
Yep.
Yeah. Right. How she did know how much it weighed?
I mean, I see Dean Green going around town and picking up metal.
Yeah.
There's a lot of scrap haulers around.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
Well, you know what?
Just
It's a
and it's moving
lesson
away.
learned. You know what? Bryant's or Mervis's might bring down a dumpster for free for the metal, and that might work to our advantage.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we gotta.
That'll free up the other 6 dumpsters. You know, you put your metal up in here, it frees up the other 6 dumpsters. You know, whatever comes about
As long as you got somebody down there babysitting.
Lesson learned.
Move on.
Right. And then, personnel posting for clerk position, because we, at the time.
Oh, under new business, we also have to talk about the. So, would you like to talk about you interested in the treasurer position?
Yeah, with guidance.
With guidance.
With guidance.
Okay. Would you be willing to come to another meeting so that we can have it on the agenda to get you appointed into that position so that we can move forward?
And what's your name?
My name is Michelle T.L. Winland.
W-I-N-D.
W-I-N-L-A-N-D. No D in the middle.
Okay.
Like Georgetown, Winland?
No,
No.
no relation. But I live in Georgetown.
Okay, but it's not related to that.
No, no.
Anybody else
Well,
interested
that's for
in
the treasurer's position, right?
Yes.
trustee's
Okay.
position before we move on?
Yeah, anybody in here interested in a clerk or a trustee position before we move on? So, if so, speak up so we can put it on the agenda.
The Corbin gal. Is that her name?
Ruth White.
Proof, yeah.
Who was it that,
It was Ruth White.
it was Ruth White.
Yeah, I went and spoke with her, and she said that she doesn't feel comfortable doing it because of her age.
Okay.
Sitting up here in the heat and whatnot is just not feasible for her, so she doesn't want to do it.
Okay, so that was the treasurer or clerk? Treasurer, okay. Okay, so for the clerk position updates, I don't have anything. Do you guys have anything for the clerk?
At this time, no.
Okay, and then that's it. I don't have anything else on the
Did we go ahead
agenda.
and do public comment, cause we didn't do that at the beginning?
Oh yeah,
Hey.
let's.
So you're saying that we've been along, more than 60 days without a clerk? So do we gotta do that, like, soon?
Yeah. Like yesterday?
Like 10 days ago.
Alright, so. Now, do we have to have that one lady come in?
So if we
swear
appoint
her
an
in?
acting mayor,
You know what I'm
the
saying?
acting mayor has the authority to swear someone in, because they have all powers of the mayor. No, an acting mayor, not
okay.
I'm just
interim,
filling in for tonight.
like pro
Oh,
tem.
okay.
But they would have the authority to swear someone in, and once we have a clerk, the clerk is the one that's supposed to swear people in anyways. The only exception is the mayor has to swear the clerk in.
So we gotta have a mayor to swear her in then?
Yes. And if we don't, then we'll have to
Then
do
we'll have to
a notary.
get a notary.
Oh, okay.
Or we can have the
That's
county
what-
clerk
That's
come
what
out.
I was asking.
But a clerk position's priority.
Are you guys posting that on social media, newspaper? Has that already been posted in the newspaper, Linda?
Yes.
Is an ad in there, or is it?
No, you had posted it in, one of your articles about a board meeting. I know that you had posted for the clerk and a couple of trustees. I also posted it on our village Facebook page about a month ago or so.
No interest?
Mm.
Are you guys gonna do knock door to door and ask people within the village? Are you able to contact the county to find out registered voters and reach out to them?
They don't have to be registered, they just have to be eligible to vote. So that means you have to be 18 and you cannot have any felonies.
Okay.
You have to be a qualified elector is what the law says,
Okay.
which means you have to be eligible to vote.
So we could
If we have to, I guess, to answer your question, yeah.
Yeah.
If we have to get that position filled.
post it again and see.
Well, and I've had a couple of suggestions given to me, so I'm gonna go talk with a couple of people that have been suggested and see if they're interested.
Keep it on a classified ad, it's in the paper, that they tell them.
Okay. I'll get with you.
All right, and then since we skipped over public comment, anybody have a public comment?
I did. Couple more days on the draft website, and I'll email it to whoever has been sent me an email the last couple of weeks.
Okay.
Then once it gets finally set up, the board wants it set up, then I'll give you guys passwords, you guys can have at it.
Perfect. Thank you.
It'll be Indianola-il.com.
How are we doing on the ordinances?
I just, I had a friend, bring me copies of ordinances from a neighboring town. And I am going to make copies of those. And when things kind of settle down a little bit, we're gonna go through those and see what ordinances we want to adopt, what ones we need.
But you
To
already
not
have
use.
some adopted,
But
right?
yes, the ordinances we do have, we are going to put them on our website once we get that up and running. In the meantime, I am going to go ahead and make copies of all of our ordinances and put them in a binder and place them on the table in the post office so that they're available to the public whenever you want to see them. And they're also in a place where, if you want to make a copy of one, you can just take it inside for a minimal fee, have them make copies for you. It makes it available to the public right now versus, the little bit of time it's going to take to be able to get them uploaded onto the website. And for those who aren't internet savvy or don't have access to the internet, that also gives them an option there.
So that'll be another special meeting to do that, or, because I don't think we're gonna have time to go through all the ordinances.
Oh, no, that'll be a future date after everything, like the dust
We'll have
settles
to
on
find out
that.
what we have and what we don't have.
Yeah.
What we need.
But that will be once we get the board in order. Any other public comments?
meetings will be when and what are we gonna be talking about?
I know we were gonna talk about the,
Appointment of positions, if anybody
Yes.
comes forward, possible discussion on changing the bank. And maybe some action on that.
Yeah.
But I would say we didn't determine a date or a time yet.
we will, let the paper know.
And authorize people with an access bank account.
Yes, that as well. The resolution for that.
Resolution for that, okay.
Yeah.
So do you guys want to discuss the next, or no, the special meeting or no? What do you guys want to do?
We may just have to schedule it at a later time. Yeah. I'm gonna probably do it next week. I think at this time we should probably wait on discussing when to schedule the special meeting until we find out if we're gonna have, yeah. Until we can go door to door and harass people about going to the board.
Can I make a statement on banks though?
Yeah.
Changing banks might be a little, it's not as easy as you think. Because I have to deal with the trust account for my husband. Not every banking system offers the same bang for your buck for different types of accounts. So in some banks, if you have a trust account, you have to pay this monthly fee, and you don't get any. In other bank, you don't, and you get interest. I mean, so just to, we're gonna go here, it might take some digging for you all to figure out what bank.
Yeah.
Did the previous treasurer make a recommendation already based on her research?
She did make one before she left.
Yeah.
Yes. One that would provide more interest.
How many years did you bank that side out? Just curious.
I have no idea.
So most people bank upside down because it was, the side I was taken.
Right.
I'm not sure that, I would assume.
All right, and then the next meeting will be held on September 11th.
9/11.
I was just thinking that.
At 6:30 here in the garage. And then, who would like to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor?